guys, Crazen here. Thanks for joining and checking out the channel. Today I'm just going to kind of chit chat about my thoughts about Phase 2. Right now I'm about to start a nice AV match, unfortunately, again, while I enjoy some coffee for the morning. So, in previous videos I've talked about, gearing routes and things that I was looking forward to. And one of those was PvP, because there's a lot of great rewards from ranking, and there certainly are. We've looked at them before. For rank 7 through 10 you get this nice blue set. For rank 12 and 13 you get this nice epic set, and for rank 14 you get these really nice weapons, which is great. But what I had really forgotten, or maybe even suppressed, was when I had ranked previously, I really didn't think much about the time commitment that came with it. There is a lot of grinding that comes with grinding all the way up, even in the new system. And from what I've seen now, compared to what I saw in Classic Era, is pretty similar, where you get about 10,000 honor per hour, give or take. Which means when you have these later caps of 418,000 or 500,000, that's a 40-50 hour week of just honor grinding. Which, when I did it the first time, I had an abnormal amount of flexibility. So I was able to make it work. But this time around, I'm just not so sure that I'm going to have the flexibility to really push those upper caps. So this time around for Classic Fresh, my PvP plan has changed to just capping out at rank 10. So this is the third week of Phase 2. The first week was all open world, and then we're 2 weeks into Battlegrounds being available. So I've been following this add-on that works really great. It launched with the new PvP system when it launched back with Classic Era about last year. And it tells you what honor goals you need to reach and how far it'll take you for each cap, which is really useful if you're trying to really maximize how much you're going to get out of it. And with that, right now for the first cap, the cap is 11. This week I needed 256,000 to go from rank 7 to rank 9. Rank 9 60%. And if I wanted to do the cap, the highest that I could go to jump to 11, my cap that it would require is 418,000. So just a little bit higher. I was not paying attention at all. Did not mean to rock into that guy. That's funny. So just a little bit higher. Not really something that I'm interested spending. This week, what I ran into really was there was just a tremendous amount of just downtime in AV. I mean, AV is by far the most efficient way to grind honor, but it is also at times a very, very boring way to grind honor. You run the same objectives. Sometimes you just really want a fast game and you're not getting a fast game, which kind of sucks. But the first week people were pushing for like 6-7 minute long games, which was cool. It was kind of grindy in that way. Not a lot of people did not like it, but from my experience when I was running in Classic Era, it was certainly the way that kept it most fresh. Just because, as a rogue, it was very easy for me to just run off as a solo player and do my own PvP and see what kind of honorable kills I could take out while people were racing. This week has very much been more do all of the objectives and And while that is great, it takes longer. And so doing the minimum amount of objectives, or the maximum amount of objectives, comes out to doing, you know, uh, every single bunker, fighting all the lieutenants, and that always ends up being like a minimum of like a 13 to 15 minute game. So double the amount of time of just rushing for the last boss, which a lot of people are used to do. But then it gets dragged out even more because both sides are doing that. Both sides are trying to do every single objective, and they want to win to really maximize their sides, so that's completely understandable. But what ends up happening is people are back capping, and it just slows down the games. And this is coming off as a very pessimistic view towards Alterac Valley, and I think my main reason for having such a pessimistic view is because you have to spend so much time in Alterac Valley to grind honor the most efficient way. And while that is kind of a buzzkill of playing optimally, playing the most optimally and still having to invest 40 to 50 hours a week for the later ranks is just a ridiculous amount of time for some people, myself included. And so that was something that I had completely forgotten about when it came to ranking the last time around. I didn't really remember how I felt by the end of the week, or even halfway through the week on those heavier cap weeks. And this time around at 256k, I was like, this is not how I want to spend my free time. I don't think that the gear is worth that kind of time investment. So it's been nice to have such big engagement in PvP, though. There have been games when I am grinding where, I do skip objectives and I just kind of back cap and try to see what I can do by myself, or run with a pack of one or two others and really try to get as much PvP out as I can. But that slowed down a little bit once I started to run out of supplies like the salties and iron grenades, and so, because it's nice to play with those things. But anyways, 3 weeks in, I'm a little bit burnt out on AV already. I could make it to 11 next week if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to stick with rank 10. Rank 10 gets me the full blue set, which is great. I already have the first two pieces, the bows and the boots. And then next week on Tuesday, I'll unlock the Branson chest. And then it's only, since I'm only going to 10, 142k to get to rank 10 for the shoulders and helmet. So that'll be a nice addition, some nice pieces with some extra hit and crit options on it. So yeah, that kind of adds to the mix of my Shadowcraft set of things that I have to play with. I've got some weapon upgrades from it, including the Glacial Blade. I can get the Lobotomizer, I just need to grind out a little bit gold after this honor cap. And then like the Don Julio's band was a nice upgrade too. So I've gotten some good things already out of Battlegrounds. I think that, a lot of people were not very happy with the meta of grinding out AV of just 6-7 minute games where everybody would either rush to Drek or rush to Van and see who can kill him first and skip all the objectives. This is a very high risk play, and in a lot of ways the Horde have a lot of advantages for that. Their starting area is closer, for starters, than the Alliances, so it's less of a run to get to Van than it is for the Alliance to get to Drek. So, when you're having a race to see who can beat the last boss first, starting closer is certainly a bonus. So I've yet to try out any War Song Gulch. I'm not really sure how those battlegrounds are going. I think what I'm going to end up doing, since I'm not really hitting honor caps, what I'm really just going to go when it comes to Battlegrounds is I probably won't play AV anymore after I hit rank 10 and I've reached my goal of getting gear from it. But I probably will play Warsong Gulch and then Arathi Basin when that comes out, just for fun. I do enjoy those battlegrounds, and I think there's a lot more opportunity to really blast out your full toolkit and all your engineering things and consumables. And that would give me some time to just kind of slowly prepare for that. It's not any rush, but there are some nice things when it comes to reputation for the reputation for what are we doing? Oh my goodness. There are some nice things when it comes to the reputation for Warsong Gulch. You know, it's a nice set of bracers. Really, these pants are really better for bear tanks, but still would be kind of a nice thing to have as an option. And then even as the revered options under Warsong Gulch, they have some weapon upgrades available as well, which the level 58 version, the Legionnaire sword, is actually better than the Thrash Blade, and so it would be kind of a main hand upgrade for my sword set, which would be kind of nice. And then going to Arathi when that comes out, let's see here, you get this kind of interesting three-set piece of boots, belt, and shoulders, as well as a cloak. The cloak, I feel like, would be a nice upgrade compared to my Baron's cloak. And then I think that's pretty much it for Arathi Basin. There's not really a crazy amount of stuff for maybe outside of that cloak, and then maybe like some of the other smaller parts might be nice from time to time. I think the boots give you just baseline increased run speed, but I really like how the tabard for that one looks, so that would be kind of a cool thing to pursue too. So anyways, lots of stuff that we've talked about with PvP. PvP is one of my favorite aspects of the game. I've said that before in some of my videos, and I think that in a lot of ways it still holds up. I just remembering now that I'm in the midst of it, that grinding AV is the most optimal way to play or to rank is just not how I want to spend my game time. And so, you know, if you're really interested in ranking, I think that's great. I think that there are a lot of challenges with it, and if you're wanting to do it the most effective way, Alterac Valley grinding is going to be your future for a while, because there's just not really an optimal way to do it in the other battlegrounds, and certainly not in the open world PvP. So, if you're on that journey, I wish you more power to you. I hope that it goes by quick, because it is kind of a slog of a grind, but there are some nice weapons that come out of it, and a nice set of gear that comes from it too. So it's not a complete waste of time. If that's your thing, then go for it. For me though, I think this time around it's just too much of a time investment into a type of gameplay that I'm just not interested in doing that much every week. So anyways, that's my thoughts on Phase 2, on how things are going. I enjoyed the first week. I had a really good time open world PvPing, and then, you know, the first 2 weeks of AV have started high and then kind of leveled out to being just kind of meh, okay, I'd rather do other things with my game time. So I still need to work on my other phase reviews. I just kind of was in the middle of running an AV and remembered that I hadn't made a video in a while, so I'll still work on a Phase 0 and Phase 1 review. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Later.